we've normalized complaining as a culture, as a society, and we've created a way to relate to each other by it. It's like, let me tell you about my bad day. It's like, oh my God, my boss, my partner, my kid, my whatever. And then I'm like, oh my God, Drea, you're so right. And then I tell you mine, right? So here's the thing. We think we're getting something off our chest when we complain to our friends. And then how do we feel after, right? Oh my God, Drea, I love that I was able to tell you this. We related. But it's not that you got it off your chest. We just did like a hit of heroin together. So of course we're high off like the complaining, but guess what's gonna happen in 2 hours, Drea? The body is now addicted to that complaining roller coaster.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Hey Babe, Can We Talk? With me, your host and bestie, Drea Renee. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is the place where the hot mess expresses the black sheeps of love, and for those who just can't seem to get it right when it comes to matters of the heart. I am you, you are me, we are one. And if no one else gets you, you guys know I do. And if you're returning, I missed you, and we're gonna have a great episode. On today's episode, we have author Jorge Perez of the Shut the F Up method, which we will be relating to relationships. And we're gonna be talking about why you are the you've been waiting for. Check yourself before you get into a relationship. But before we get into that, make sure you hit that like, follow, and subscribe down below, because I'd love to hear from you guys. And without further ado, let's get into it with Jorge Perez.
I just have a permanent grin on my face.
Oh
so
my
sick
God.
to see you.
Did you like the intro?
It's so good.
Oh my God.
The whole thing is really good. The setup is good. The vibe is great. Andy's killing it. Michelle's crushing it. You're destroying it.
Oh, thank you.
I'm at Game of Thrones.
I love it. Can we talk about yesterday when we almost didn't get here because of our text message?
Oh, so yeah. So anyway, long story short, I'm arriving in LAX and I have my 13-year-old deaf chihuahua on me that I'm dropping off with a sitter, and I'm taking the bus to get the rental car, and I start getting these texts like, hey, how is the... It's like, what's the relationship?
Yeah. I was like, relationships, is there anything you want to talk about? And
you're like,
in regards
how's the
to
relationship? What? And I'm like, wow, man, AI's getting aggressive. Like the AI scams. So I'm like, relationship to who is this?
You're like, in regards to what?
And you're like... well, the podcast tomorrow, and I'm like, yes, no problem. It's almost, you know, when they call you like a spam call,
yes,
and then you're like so savage, mean,
mad.
And all of a sudden it's somebody giving you a job. You're like, oh hey,
I know, and you totally turn. You're like, well, Lo siento.
I always make a joke out of it, like, you see that side of me, huh? You saw how evil I am, and they're like, oh yeah.
And then you're like, oh hey girl.
You're like, hey man, what's up? Oh my God, yes, no worries.
Exactly. But nonetheless, we are so happy that you are here. Thank you for coming on the show. I'm super excited to talk about your book, The Shut the F Up Method. Please tell us everything about it.
Yeah, listen, we'll get the hard stuff out of the way.
Yeah, get the hard stuff out of the way.
This is a fun show. So I've been really obsessed with personal development my whole life. I've been to India, to an ashram. I became a Reiki master when I was 14. My mom, she loved this stuff. Yeah, I can put my hands on people and not get in trouble. Because the energy comes through the hands. Actually, you don't have to touch them. You just put them out.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until, both my parents died of cancer pretty back to back. Dad was 2019, mom was 2022, that it got me into the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, who does these amazing retreats.
Amazing.
On rewiring the subconscious mind and really understanding the brain and the science behind our fight or flight mechanism, why we react the way we react, and how our constant reaction starts to take down our immune system, opening us up to diseases, neurological diseases, predisposition diseases, etc. And once I really got the hang of his teachings and the method, I had a revelation. I was actually volunteering for the first time in his retreat, and I noticed that participants, staff, and volunteers, they were not doing what he was telling you to do. Essentially, they were complaining and putting their energy on things that they didn't want. And I thought, you know what? It doesn't matter how many years you're in therapy, how much ayahuasca you do.
Okay, can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
You have to speak clean. You have to shut your mouth and stop this addiction of complaining. So my book is an invitation so we stop complaining.
I love that. Yeah. And there's so much of that. I feel like if you kind of tap in and pay attention to that, so many people are complaining all the time.
Yeah. And when I say complain, I don't mean like, listen, you get the wrong order when you order. You go tell your waiter you got the wrong order.
Exactly.
Is when you go around saying, I always get the wrong order. This place is a mess. You call your friends, you call everybody. You start ruminating on the problem instead of just taking action, deal with it, and let it go.
And let it go.
And that's the habit, the new action plan that I encourage and invite people to do. How can we just let go faster so we start getting more of what we want and stress ourselves less?
Well, that is so interesting when it comes to dating, because I think about how I think about dating apps, and I was like, dang, I am kind of doing that. I'm like, dating app sucks. I hate doing this. And I'm having these conversations on the phone with people who are also having this experience, and then we're just in this pool of complaining about online dating.
Yeah, about LA. Oh my God, it's so hard to meet somebody in that. Then you live in Wichita. Oh, in Wichita, there's nobody. So we have normalized complaining, and we've created it into a bonding ritual, into a relatedness ritual, and it's fine. Again, I get into the science, which is linked to our fight or flight mechanism, because we gravitate towards bad news and problems because our alarm system tells us if we talk about the problems, then we're going to be safe. We've normalized complaining as a culture, as a society, and we've created a way to relate to each other by it. It's like, let me tell you about my bad day. It's like, oh my God, my boss, my partner, my kid, my whatever. And then I'm like, oh my God, Drea, you're so right. And then I tell you mine, right? So here's the thing. We think we're getting something off our chest when we complain to our friends. And then how do we feel after, right? Oh my God, Drea, I love that I was able to tell you this. And we related. But it's not that you got it off your chest. We just did like a hit of heroin together. So of course we're high off like the complaining, but guess what's going to happen in 2 hours, Drea? The body is now addicted to that complaining roller coaster. So all of a sudden, in 2 hours from now, when you're not complaining, your body's going to bring you something to complain again, so you go through the roller coaster again.
Right.
So that's how we get stuck in that loop.
Yeah, and then sometimes it's like subconscious. You don't even know that you're just like attracting it. You're looking for it. You're finding it. And then it's also like if I'm constantly saying the dating apps suck, there's no men out there. Oh my God, like that's just what's going to happen. Yeah. And sometimes you're right. Like there's safety and sort of this bond that gets created when you're just sitting there like, let's ruminate over all the bad things.
Yeah.
Or like if I look at all my comments, right, and I get one bad comment, forget all the good comments. I only focus on the one bad comment. So that's sort of like the same idea, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why, I created the STFU commandments.
Ooh.
And commandment number 3 is if you have a problem, tell one person or your therapist. Like minimize the number and the networks of conversations, because that's what we do in life. We get mad at people for talking bad about us, but we gave them all the ammunition. But we kept complaining and we told everybody our stories, and then they told everybody, and then it's our fault. So it's like, how can we minimize that network of conversations and close the gap and close the circle? And again, and I'm not saying it to be in denial, right? If you got $5 in your bank account, like, don't go around saying you're rich. But guess what? You don't have to call up every friend and tell them that you're broke either.
Right.
People can be like, Drea, how's it going with the money? Oh, it's sorting itself out. I've got some really cool projects coming.
Reframing it.
Exactly. You can reframe it. Beautiful, perfect word. And then choose a narrative that lets possibility in and keeps your integrity about it.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. I have a girlfriend, she's dating a really, really wealthy guy. Yeah. And as their relationship progressed, she thought to herself, I can't go around telling everybody about my relationship, because it's a different energy when she's dating someone that wealthy, right? Yeah. And so she said, I talked to one friend and my therapist. And that's it. Yeah. And it's also like if I go out into a group setting and you'll see like there's always like maybe one person who isn't sharing that much. And they kind of understand those boundaries of like maybe everybody doesn't know each other that well. And they're like, I don't need to tell everybody my everything. Because that's definitely something I've fallen into. Even with dating, like I tend to overshare sometimes, like telling everybody everything. And then I get off the phone and I'm like, oh my God, why did I say all that? I don't even know why I said all that. You know what I mean? It was a first conversation. It didn't need to go there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think that it's a balance. And again, no right or wrong.
Right.
It's about what kind of results are we getting, and are we willing to try something different? And I think it's like the definition of insanity, right? It's doing something the same way and expecting a different result. So we have to start owning what our actions are. And we can't really control what we believe. We can't control what we think, but we can control what we say.
Yeah.
And then we start minimizing. By controlling what we say, we start minimizing the thought and eventually eradicate the belief.
Talk to me about how you get there, because I feel like that process of working the shut the F up method is probably like, it can be a little bit wonky. Because I feel like for me, I would probably come in sideways where I just wasn't saying anything. They're like, Drea, okay, that's not the point.
You're like, you look at Drea's all repressed.
I know, exactly.
You see her, you're like, girl, you look tense.
I know. I'm like, I'm trying not to say anything. I'm trying not to complain.
Listen, great question. So I think we have to detoxify from our ways of being, essentially, right? I think we are all emotionally addicted to our lives. That's why the problem that you have with her, you have with him, you know what I mean? Or like your friend attracts the same guy. It's not the guy that's the issue. It's subconsciously we're wired to attract those things because that's what we believe.
With that.
And now there's nothing wrong with that because that's what life is patterns. Look at the seasons. It's patterns, right? But understanding the patterns is the way to go. And not just understanding the patterns, but really mustering that willpower to stop the pattern. And in my experience, the willpower, it's like food. It doesn't matter if you go to all the boot camps in the world. If you're getting home every night and it's pizza time, all that work for nothing.
Right.
So same thing. It's like you need to also be mindful on how you talk. It's not repression. The STFU method is not repression, it's mindfulness. How can we speak about things in a way that are mindful so we don't keep cementing the things that we don't want in our lives.
Right, because words really do have power. I have a friend, Quene, she always talks about that. Like, watch how you're talking to yourself. Would you say these things to a friend, yet you're saying them to yourself, right?
Oh, yeah.
And
Absolutely.
so I find that like when I am working, because I've definitely become more conscious of that, of the oversharing.
Good.
But it does come off like I'm a little like autistic sometimes because I'm like, hello, how are you? Everything is great. I don't know why I'm speaking this way. But in my thoughts, I'm like, don't say that, don't say that,
I have
don't say that.
No problems.
Exactly. And that's not the idea of it. But like you said, it's about being mindful. And I do think if you are going to go into something where maybe it's a little bit deeper or it's not a great moment, it's about your intention about how you're talking about it.
Absolutely. And you know, in that commandment of telling just one person or your therapist, I also include and tell that person they're your one person. Because that way you create this intentional listening, and then that you've kind of ordained that friend, like Drea, you're the only person I'm going to tell this to. And that immediately brings you to an active listening where you might not even need to give me advice, and just from your powerful listening, I sort myself out.
Right.
And that's another hack, right? So how do we follow the method, right? How do we detoxify ourselves from our emotional states? Some of it includes meditation. I don't know. Are you a meditator?
Yes.
Okay. So during meditation, especially in the morning, our brain is in theta. We're highly suggestible. So if the first thing that you do in the morning is, or maybe the second after you check your Instagram.
I know. But I'm like, put the phone
maybe
down.
Quick scroll.
Yeah.
Because you have to grab your phone because the meditation's on the phone.
Exactly.
So maybe you want to take a
quick
quick
look. You know what I do sometimes? I'll like do it like this, and I'll try to go to the YouTube so I don't look at how many like.
Who doesn't want to look at like there's a like there or a message, like or someone slipped in there, like check it out. So after you check if someone slipped or not, you go right into your go to YouTube, find a 5-minute meditation, a guided one. Make it easy on yourself. I'm not saying you got to do an hour or 45 minutes, and then 5 minutes, and then just the fact that you did 5 minutes, you're gonna start like addressing yourself as that person that meditates, and that subconsciously and consciously is going to start creating shifts in you. And when you're going to see a week after you're doing the 5-minute meditation, that annoyance at traffic will hit you at a 5 and not a 10. The telemarketer calling you is going to hit you at a 6 and not a 10. And that's when you start having fun, because for me now, I get more happy and more joy, not from getting what I want, but from seeing who I am when I don't get what I want.
Ooh.
When I have that date that didn't...
Mark that clip.
Yeah. Hit it, Michelle.
Seriously.
Yeah, when you go on that date and it wasn't all that, but you go, you know what? I'm just going to enjoy this human being. And maybe that's not my forever person, but how about giving that person some like love and respect and what I love? I'm not saying you got to sleep with them, but like giving them a moment, right? Like this is a moment. You and I, we're never going to get this moment back.
Exactly.
And tomorrow a truck might come and Drea, it's over.
God forbid. God forbid. But I know what you're saying. And I love that you said that. That's a great segue because I want to talk about how this relates to relationships because I went on a date not too long ago and it was this exact thing. And it's like every date I go on, Jorge, I get so excited. And I'm like, this could be my last first date. Oh my God. And then I get on that
You
date.
should make up like a last first date dance. Last first date.
Last first date. Okay. But then I went around that corner and I was like, this is not going to be my last first date. Unfortunately, so.
Who will be a bridesmaid? Bridesmaid, not you, not you,
not you.
Maybe you.
Exactly. But I saw him and I was like, yep, I'm going to have a couple more.
Not last first date. Not last first date.
Literally. But just like you said, I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to enjoy this experience.
Yeah.
And I'm going to like show this person respect and love and
That's
kindness
beautiful.
and not sit there with an attitude because I'm not made like that. You know, some people would just like get up and leave. But I was like, you know what? We both showed up. I'm hungry. So
we gotta eat.
We gotta eat.
Maybe I'm not eating sausage tonight, but I'm eating. I'm eating vegan.
Exactly.
But listen, but it's so true. And
God.
sometimes, like, listen, it's easy to be this charismatic with someone like you. Right now, for me, I mean, you're like a party in a box, right? But if I gotta bring on the charm when it's with like a dead person, then that actually brings up that muscle in me where like, all right, I'm working out. It's great practice. And it's like, how can I like have your back and maybe you're a quiet person. Maybe you're just not, you don't have any social skills, but I'm going to make it up for the both of us by being that person.
And I love what you said. You finding out who you are when you don't get what you want, right?
Yeah.
That is so powerful to me because I've had to sort of take a step back and not getting what I've wanted on these dating apps recently. Oh my God.
That's over now. Now we're getting all of it.
We're getting all what we want. But it's like I've taken that energy and put it back towards myself. So you said something beautiful on the phone last night. You said you are the you've been waiting for. Talk to me about that and like what inspired you to say that. I knew Michelle would love that.
What inspired me to say that is like this. I think the biggest epidemic that we have in the world is we are moment discriminators. The moment's never good enough. The moment needs to have 3 more zeros in the bank account. The moment needs to have a husband or a wife. The moment needs to have kids. The moment needs to be healthy. The moment needs 6 abs. And then before we know it, we don't know if the next moment's even guaranteed. So we're spending this moment not thinking it's good enough, which is nuts because then we train the mind that the moment's never good enough. So you'll be in that yacht and the yacht won't be big enough. And your husband's mom is an alcoholic and you're like, damn, I wanted a mother-in-law, but not a monster-in-law.
Right.
And then it's never enough. Why? It's science, babe. The brain will recalibrate to keep you on that not good enough
The ring's
train.
not big enough. The house isn't big enough.
And nothing. So let's call it environment. So you have the environment of a primary relationship, the environment of health, the environment of money in the bank, the environment of your kid not being a drug addict, whatever the environment is. And sorry, let me just be crude.
Yeah.
And then God, the universe, whatever your belief system goes, I'm taking this environment away. Your kid's going to have a drug problem. And then all of a sudden we're suffering. And then it goes, you know what? I'm going to take your health now. Ooh. I'm just saying things that happen in life.
Right.
So then
life.
Now we're dependent on all these environments in order for me to be at peace. And it's a lost battle. Because the environment will go away. This thing is transitory. It's temporary. We are going to leave. Yeah. Now, how are we going to spend our time that we're here? We're going to just put our foot down and be like, I refuse to be happy until there's a ring on my finger. I have 6 abs. No, you got to be happy now. Millions of people would kill to be in your shoes. I don't care who you are. I work with people. Look, I'm getting goosebumps.
Me too.
I work with people that have neurological diseases, ALS, MS, cancers that would kill to be a homeless person that could move their arms.
Oh my God, you're so right.
That have so much money in the bank and it doesn't do anything because they don't have motor skills to be able to get up and go like this. Do you know what a blessing that is? So what we're doing is we need to really just inject ourselves with perspective. We need to do whatever it takes. Go do some volunteering. Go help the homeless. Go do whatever. So you start shaking up and it's fine. Listen, have your goals, right? Like Trust me, I'm super ambitious. I want that
Yes,
huge yacht. I
of
want
course you want
I'm
it.
saying I'm going to be a billionaire. It's a done deal.
Okay.
But I'm certainly not
I love
going to stop my happiness until I get there, or realizing that being here with you and Michelle, Andy, is the best thing that could have ever happened to me, because that is what's happening to me. I'm not blind anymore. This is it. This is it.
Oh my God, Jorge, I don't even know what to say right now. You're the first guest who's left me completely speechless. I'm like, I think that's a whole episode right there. Oh my God, but no, it's so beautiful. And listening to you, it made me so present. Honestly, like I was thinking about, you're right. There's always going to be somebody who would love to be in your situation. My mom, unfortunately, suffered a stroke in November, right? And she's lost all feeling on her right side. And you're right. Like there's somebody out there who would love to be in her position, 100%. Right? And so on and so forth. And I too have had that mindset of wait until I do this, until I do that, and not appreciating those moments. So this weekend was so special with my mom for Mother's Day because she's here and I still get to talk to her and hug her. And I was really present in those moments. And this is such a gift right now, just sitting here with you and just getting called back to the reality of what is right now. Because I think it's so easy to check out. And even with like the dating apps and stuff, like I will numb out sometimes and I'm scrolling and I'm not even like intentionally there. I'm just like, I gotta get. And I'm healed and evolved enough to know that energy is never gonna get me anywhere. So I gotta put it down, reset, and focus back on myself. And I think now people have this stigma around people loving themselves. Some people think it's selfish or self-love. You know, like what do you think the difference is between those two things? Because the people are like, oh, you got to think about others. But like you do have to fill your own cup before you fill others, right?
Yeah, absolutely. What I think being in a relationship is great. And I think being single is great. Here's the problem. The problem is when we're single, and we're like, oh my God, where is he? Where is she? I should be there right now. Where is it? Or the problem is when we're in a relationship, I miss Sunday fun day. I miss my freedom. So here's the thing. You want to know the secret to life? I'm going to give it to you right now. Lean into your situation. If you're single, lean into the fact that you can go anywhere. You have that freedom. You can travel. You can see your friend wants to go to Vegas. You don't have to start checking on a million people if you can leave, whatever. And if you're in a relationship, lean into the amazing, God, the morning text, the night text, the cute, let me check with my partner, the double dates. Lean into that. But just don't be here wishing you were there, and don't be there wishing you were here. That is the problem. So I think self-love just comes down to surrendering to the perfection of your moment. Can you do that? That's the most loving thing we can do to ourselves when we don't go to war with reality. When I hear like,
Jorge, stop. Pause.
Preach.
Stop it right now. We don't go to war with reality. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. That's the ultimate self-love. And knowing that reality could change like that. Meaning like, listen, sometimes I think people think acceptance is like there's some defeat, like you're defeated. Or there's a defeat factor to it, right? And not to me. I think acceptance is like, listen, I can accept that I'm single and be at peace with it. And that doesn't mean that I'm still not open.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or I can accept that my neighbor is a pain and I'm still going to call the cops. Or you know what I mean? Like, whatever it is. Like, but it's a subtle yet huge difference when we're at war with something, because accepting it doesn't mean that we're not trying to change it. Acceptance is that today it looks like this and it's okay, because millions of people would love to be in my shoes.
Millions of people would love to be in an apartment complaining about a neighbor.
Yes, we'd love to have a neighbor to complain. Exactly. We'd love to be able to hear a neighbor complaining. We'd love to hear.
Exactly. Wow. Yeah. I mean, there's so many nuggets here. Like my brain is like exploding with love for you and also love for myself and just being in that moment.
Well, this is you. Like you create a space where like magic appears, and just always know that that's who you are, because I'm experiencing that. So that's who you are. I mean, and you make it easy and fun, right? But you also you're the clearing for this, and that you've been ordained with something really powerful.
Thank you. Oh my God. No, really. You touching my heart in so many ways. Like, this is an amazing episode. Everybody has to watch this and go get the Shut the F Up method
and look
at
the production value on top of it all.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to circle back to dating and modern day relationships and how this applies. Because so many people struggle with communication, right?
Yeah.
And they impulsively and they react and they say things so quickly. How can you apply the shut the F method up to that?
Well, I think it's almost like when you start working out and losing weight, you want to get a skinny waist, but you start losing weight everywhere. You start losing weight in your face, in your arms, and the weight. So I think that the more rewiring that we do, right, with the meditation, with reading my book, taking on a mindfulness, maybe we'll start it out with friends, but it's going to start bleeding into our relationships, right? I want us to become the kind of people, you know, that beautiful scene where you have the pebble and you throw it in the still lake and you see the ripple?
Yes.
What if we became the people that think about the ripples before we throw the pebble?
Right.
What if we think before we tell our friend that we saw her boyfriend a little drunk at a party talking to some girl, maybe we think about that before we say it. And that doesn't mean we don't say it.
Right.
But maybe we ask questions.
Right.
And we say, how are you guys doing? And maybe you'll find out that they're on a break. And maybe you find out that they're not monogamous or whatever it is. So I think the mindfulness... Taking that pause. The mindfulness exercise just goes incredibly well with primary relationships, with your boss, with your coworkers. And I think in relationships, it's coexisting with another human being is so beautiful and powerful, and I don't want to use the word hard, but it is almost like you're in a beautiful life boot camp, because
I love this reframing. Because it's so easy to say hard, but you see how he did that?
Yeah, it's in this beautiful boot camp where you're flexing your ability to coexist. You're seeing nothing's better than a significant other to show us our own arrogance, our own manipulation, our own lack of compassion, and of course all the beautiful things that our generosity and our love and whatnot. But to be sleeping next to somebody, coexisting, I mean, it's powerful, and it should be reframed. I love your word as training, as something really beautiful, and to really honor it that way. And when there's time to take breaks, there's time to take breaks, meaning if I have to, let's pause for a second, let me go away. But I also think it's powerful to communicate and to really think about that ripple before you throw the pebble.
Right. Like take that pregnant pause, as they say, before you say stuff. And I've really been so proud of myself, because I would always just impulsively do something. Call somebody right away. So when something crazy happens to me, I take a minute. Yeah. And then I think about where can this information land that's going to be the most loving situation to me and the other person, right? Do they have the space for it? Is it going to be words of encouragement? Is it going to be words of judgment? Is it going to be someplace that I can receive like a hug, even if it's just on the phone? And before though, I would just call, and now I've learned, hey, let me take a minute and sit with myself for a minute and think about the ripple of taking that conversation 18 places. But it took me a minute to get here, because I would just call everybody. I remember there was a time where I couldn't self-soothe. I couldn't do it. Like I needed somebody else to tell me I was going to be okay. And now it's like you said, you're the you've been waiting for. And now look at myself in the mirror.
You can self-regulate.
It's self-regulating. Oh my God. When my therapist said that to me for the first time, Jorge, I was like, girl, I'm not doing that. I need you to answer the phone. Okay. But there were times she wasn't available. My mom wasn't available. The guy I was seeing at the time wasn't available. My best friend's not available. And I had to sit there with my feelings and shut the F up. And deal with that.
I have a chapter that's actually called Is it true, is it kind, and is it beneficial? So what if before we injected ourselves in a conversation with another human being, we think, is it true, is it kind, and is it beneficial? If we asked ourselves those questions, And also, listen, we got to have grace and compassion with ourselves.
Right.
Like if we do get gossipy or we do get complaining, it's okay. Maybe you got reactive and it lasted 10 minutes and not your usual hour and a half.
Exactly.
And that's a huge win.
Yes.
So if we start looking at everything and reframing it as a win and be like, you know what, I snapped at the telemarketer, but it used to go a lot more violent. We need to start celebrating. I'm asking for a friend. I'm asking. Dude,
I'm not talking about myself.
I'm not asking for a friend. Oh my God, I've done stuff where I'm literally like, I'm sorry, I'm an asshole, and they're like, it's okay.
What's your sign?
Libra.
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 Oh, I love it.
What are you?
October.
Yeah, October.
Virgo.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I can feel
Virgo.
it. I love it.
I'm such
But
a
what are you,
Virgo.
Michelle?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. All heart. All fucking gotta quit. And me balancing it out.
Exactly.
Okay.
So chill. I'm like, what? Who?
Yeah,
I said,
yeah.
what? What happened? What?
No, for the most part, I will say, my sister, she's so cute. She's a huge, she loves astrology. And today she was telling me
I love
about
it.
like
What's
the
her
full
sign?
moon. She's a Leo.
Oh,
But my
okay.
sister today was telling me about the full moon and all that. But I after you and I hung up yesterday, I had something that happened to me.
Okay.
That I wanted to talk to you about it. We were talking, you asked me, and we came up with this thing of like, you're the you've been waiting
Yes.
for. And then, I got home and then I saw this friend of mine that was single from Miami, just got married. And I looked at it and I had this moment where I was like, because I'm literally traveling every 10 days from Miami. I moved to Miami in October and I haven't been there for more than 10 days on retreats, on the book tour, and all these different things. And then I had a moment right before I went to bed. I'm staying at my friend's house. He's out of town, this beautiful big mansion. And I'm by myself and I'm thinking like, oh my God, like what am I doing? Like how am I gonna really settle down if I'm traveling so much and I'm seeing somebody, but it's very casual. And I'm like, how is that even gonna grow? And I'm like, literally, I'm here for 2 days and I'm gone. And then the thought came, man, I feel really lonely. Like I was like, I feel really lonely. And like literally, like I think like a tear came down my, and then you'll never guess. So my friend that has a dog, and the dog sitter had just left. And I closed my door. I locked the door. I don't know how the dog got in.
Stop.
The dog, this beautiful German Shepherd, climbed into the bed with me. And at first it was right in that moment. And it's almost like those movie scenes where you see like, God, send me a sign or like whatever.
Right.
All of a sudden, this huge dog is laying next to me, and I'm like, I was like, all right, thank you. And I hugged it, and I'm like, man, that's like, if we can feel I'm not saying not to feel our things.
Yeah.
Feel them. And just trust that they're passing by. And it's almost like you open the gateway for the universe right away to be like, you're not alone.
Right.
That's not true. You're fine. You're this. Instead of, because I think that's what I've done. I've trained myself to let go of the need to ruminate on that feeling of I'm lonely. I can feel it, but right away, the universe was like, no, you're not. And I'm like, you're right. I'm going to sleep.
Right. Because the thing is, feelings are not facts.
No.
They're not facts. They change. And it's about like, what are you attaching to?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you're so right about like that could have been a whole moment. You could have cried all night, stayed up all night, went over your whole thing.
Yeah. No,
but that's not what happened.
And it's so beautiful to feel our feelings and allow ourselves to feel them. It's just...
I feel mine all the time.
The question is just how much airtime do you want to give them? When they're not the feelings that we want, that we don't want to create, we need to just stop fighting for our limitations.
Yeah.
Stop creating bonding over the apps are bad and it's hard to date in LA. Like, don't bond over shit like that. Don't bond over things you don't want. How about that?
Yeah, I love that. I just saw a flash of all the bonding.
I can't drop this mic, but you know what I mean.
I can't.
Stop bonding about shit that you don't want. It's that simple.
He said I can't drop this mic, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you were dropping some gems.
I'll drop my merch stuff.
Yes,
Boom.
yes.
What a great case. And
What
you know
a
what?
great
If you go to the stfumethod.com, you can get all this merch.
Yes, we're going to drop the link in the comments down below, guys. We will. Your merch is amazing, by the way. Can we talk about this sparkle?
Well,
I'm here for it.
I got to give credit where credit's due. So my aunt actually bedazzled this one. You're not going to find.
Hola, tia.
But guess what? You can go to somewhere, anywhere, and buy the glue. It's super easy.
That's very nice.
But it came out really nice, huh?
It's very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, so you can't get this one?
No.
Oh, this is like a one of a kind. Not yet.
This is a one of a kind. I'll sell it. Somebody wants to drop in and email me or get in my DMs.
Oh my God.
I'll take bids.
Take bids, exactly.
Take bids.
So, Jorge, I want to circle back. You said the C word, which I have a hard time with, casual.
Okay.
How do you do casual, Jorge?
Okay, so the reason why I'm saying casual is because, like I said, I haven't had that much time Like we're literally going on dates, but at the same time, we're both kind of on the same page. I don't see this person. He's not rushing me to see each other more.
Okay,
either.
y'all chilling.
Or like it's chilling and.
Okay.
But it's kind of. It has this really great. Like he's going he's going to Poland, and he's got a villa in Sicily. He's like, I want you to come and stay at the villa.
Can we go?
So things like there's things that I'm like, you know what? Again, talk about that definition of insanity, right?
Right.
Look, for me, when it starts hot and heavy, it tends to also end hot and heavy.
100%.
So now I'm trying, what if this is a slow freaking burn and something, I mean, it's feeling like a glacier at this point, but you know what? What else am I going to do? Just enjoy it. And actually our conversations are fun and dynamic today.
Oh, what's
and
his sign?
Aries. Which is the opposite of Libra, which is good.
Okay.
Yeah, we do great with it. Do you know your opposites?
I think mine is Pisces. I think
Pisces is a great one.
Yeah. Oh.
I don't know. See, I don't know what the Cancer opposite is.
I don't know what the Cancer. I think mine is Pisces. Yeah, Pisces are I like them. If I can find a healed Pisces, I'm down.
Pisces are cool. They say it's the most evolved astrological sign. Right before that's their last reincarnation. You know what's so funny? I've had 2 big relationships that were Pisces, and I'll never forget. After I broke up with the first one, I was telling some girl, and I'll never forget her. She was like, "Oh, what happened? You guys broke up?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, and she was like, "What's his sign?" I'm like, "Pisces." She goes, "Victim." And I was like, oh my God, it's so true. Oh my God,
don't get me
victim.
Such a victim. Don't get me started.
All right, cancel, delete.
Delete.
We're not going to experience more Pisces
we love
like
it.
that.
We love it.
Yeah,
Pisces.
it's great. Pisces, fish.
Just swim away. Unless you healed, then swim on this way. So true. Okay, so because you guys aren't seeing each other, you can keep it casual.
That's why
I have a hard time. It's like if we hold hands, I think we're getting married. So casual is not my thing. I don't know how to do casual. Yeah. I've tried it, just to be cool, but I'm not cool.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not cool, girl.
I'm not a cool girl.
Well, to add to the story about the dog yesterday, the lonely thing, I think we also have to understand that we're so wired to be in a relationship. Our parents made us. We see it in movies. We see it. I mean, the goal is like getting married.
Have
then
a kid,
our left brain is like, well, what's going to happen when you don't have kids? And then look at you taking care of your mom now, and then who's going to take care of you? Like the machine starts to go.
It's going.
Meanwhile, we don't know if. Again, just being crude about it. We don't know if we're going to make it to that age. We don't know anything.
Exactly. We don't know anything.
We don't know if you're going to be nice to an old rich person that's going to be like, here's my will. And all of a sudden you have hot male nurses taking care of you and cleaning your ass. And you're like, this is great. I don't want my kid to clean me. I want this hot guy to clean me. So
again,
why we're leaving? Okay.
God,
and I'm doing a keynote this weekend, and I want to start, and I've been starting with this, which is we're leaving too much money on the table when it comes to the quality of our life by the way that we talk. By the way we talk about our friends, the way we talk about the world, and especially the way we talk about ourselves.
Oh my God, Jorge.
Yeah.
You're rewiring me right now.
Yeah, enough is enough. Like we have to bring in the willpower and shut the fuck up. Seriously. Like we gotta bring in that rigor. We have to we're so powerful. It's just, listen, again, I'm saying all this, but I'm also being playful. And my last commandment is before telling anyone to shut the F up, you shut the F up.
Okay.
Because I do believe, and I mean this, everybody's doing it right for them.
I love that.
Everyone. I don't care who you are. In the moment that I start telling you, and I can give you advice, or I can invite you to see this book, and in the minute you're like, you know what, I don't buy it. I think you're full of shit. Then if I start now attacking you and trying to change your mind, then I'm not respecting that you're perfect the way you are. And I honestly think that everyone is perfect the way they are for them.
For them.
Yeah, 100%. And who am I? I'm not God. I'm not anything. Who am I to dictate? Like, here's my question. I love this question. If you knew, so let's think about an ex.
Okay.
The worst ex you've had.
Done. In the brain.
Let's call him D. D. If you knew that him changing from the way he is, right? Mm-hmm. Like take off the Drea VR set off for a second. You don't have it on. If you knew that him changing the way he is now would take him out of his path for what he came here to learn.
Oh my God, Jorge.
Would you want him to change?
Of course I would.
That is such a silly question. 100%. You should have made this work.
Like, the sex was great. So, yes, I would like him to change. No, I'm just kidding. No. Of course not. Of course not. I would never want that.
Well, that's the case.
Yeah.
People are wired the way they are because there's something, we don't know why. There's that great unknown, that great mystery of maybe it's karma, maybe it's a contract they had, maybe whatever.
Oh my God, I love that.
And for us to try to understand, we don't have enough data. We're going around judging people, telling people they should be this way, not be this way. And we're not in their skin. We don't know the toolbox that they have. So this work for me is just basically suspending my machinery and how I think the world should be and let the world be what it is. How am I doing? That's the only question that matters.
Jorge, I could talk to you for 3 hours. Oh my God. Thank you so much. You have been so amazing. I feel just rewired in this 40 minutes that we've been. No, truly. I mean, you've really touched my heart, honestly.
No, you're awesome.
You.
And you're doing something so powerful here. And I love what this show is about. I love the perspective you're giving and it's only going to come back to you. So just relax, enjoy this amazing time that you have, because you don't want to get, if you don't enjoy this now, you're going to get there and be like, oh my God, I should have enjoyed it more.
Like,
I should
have.
Yeah.
I know, you know?
And that's the thing. And always remember, it's like people can smell. I think inevitably when we want something, anything, that means we're in lack. Because we're saying we need that to be happy. But when we don't want something, that's when we're irresistible. But that's when we're dating somebody and they're like they don't feel that desperation.
Yes.
Of course, that's attractive. But when they know we're on a clock and the biological thing, that's when they run for the hills. Yeah.
Where's the sperm?
Yeah. Well, then set yourself up, right? Now technology is allowing women to not bring all that into the conversation, you know? And why not create this amazing continue creating this amazing podcast and then sell it and make a ton of money and freeze a million freaking dozen of eggs or whatever it is. And then you take that off the plate. Right. And realize that, we don't need to come in full swinging into dates. And you know what? I got something else. That whole the list, the checklist, that's fucking a trap. Because the more that you oh my God, so I want to manifest this guy that's rich and handsome and this, and all of a sudden you meet that guy. Right. You're going to be a mess. Yeah. You're going to be a mess because you're going to come in full swing this is the one, I manifested it. And the guy's what the f? And even if you don't come in, they're going to feel that. Oh, they're going to. You could put your best Meryl Streep actor. You're salivating So that list, maybe you want to go for a 6. Yeah. Oh, okay. As a practice or whatever. Maybe tone it down. I hear that. Yeah. I hear know what I'm saying? As a practice run. And I've done that. Trust me, the apps show that. Yeah. Okay, before we let you go, Jorge, we're going to play red flag, green flag with you. So just let me, I'm going to say some things and you say red flag, green flag, but make sure you say it for those at home that aren't getting the visual experience. Okay. You meet him, he has bad style. Red flag. God, what? Okay, how about orange flag? You already said it, red flag. Yeah, you're right, red flag. Says I love you in 2 weeks. Red flag. Okay. 2 weeks, yeah. All right, fine. Wants to share locations. Green flag. Okay, yeah, I'm here for that. Yeah, that's sweet. I'm here for that. Yeah. Okay. That's sweet. I mean, it doesn't mean I'll do it, but you can ask. Yeah. That's so sweet. Fuck no. No. But what else? Don't hate the player, hit the game. Right. Okay, text back quickly, right away. Oh, red flag. Jorge! Right away. Come on. How about a little mystery? No games. Just a little. Again, not wanting. Chill. Chill. Okay. I love you so much. I really do. Okay, has cats. My current situation has a cat, so it's so you fine. Better say green. What is it? Green flag? Green flag. Green flag. Green flag. Green flag. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I have to say it. Okay. Can only express himself when These are good. Can only express himself
when he's drinking, had a couple cocktails.
No, red flag.
Right.
I want somebody that can emote and be emotionally available under any substance.
Exactly.
Any.
Wants to move in after 3 months.
Green flag.
Okay, that's a green flag, but he can't text back.
Yeah, because you know what? Like, what if it's going that the serendipity and the passion is so great and they want to move in?
Okay.
What if, like, they have a mansion, a $6 million mansion, they want you to move in? Wouldn't that be great?
I'm moving in.
Oh, you wouldn't? That'd be the greenest flag. That's like airport.
Exactly.
Come in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. His mother still does his laundry.
Green flag because I love moms.
Oh, Jorge.
Yeah,
I knew you were
I'm
going to say
obsessed with
that.
moms.
I knew you were going to say that. Okay, thank you so much.
Fun game. And these
good.
they're kind of good questions.
Yeah, you had to think about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, Jorge, before we let you go, is there anything you want to leave our viewers with? Shut the F up method, how it relates to relationships, any advice you want to give? Let it rip.
The last thing, we covered it a little before, and I just want to hammer it in. It doesn't matter who you are. Millions of people would love and kill to be in your shoes. And out of respect for them and you need to own that. And that's what I want to leave you with.
God, I want to squeeze your face. Love you so much. Thank you so much for being here. You will definitely come back, and we need a part 2.
Yeah, and again, the book's on Amazon.
Yes.
Shut the F up method, or in Spanish, no, el método cállate la boca.
Cállate la boca, por favor.
STFUmethod.com, all the merch.
Yes. We're going to put all the links down below.
Thank you for today. You're a blast. I wish, I was going to say I wish all podcasts were this fun, but also there's workouts. Oh my God, literally right before I came here, I was doing this. My friend, he has a podcast, and the line kept getting bad and down. And finally I shut it down. And I was like, bro, just call me another day. But I thought, man, how great that I accepted the situation, and yet I was like, I can't do this anymore.
I love that. You said, hey, this isn't working for me.
Now I'm in a total, this has been like a feast, right? But there's value in all of them. There's value in all of them. There's value in that date, that they have no personality, and you have to be your brother or sister's keeper, and you got to make it up for them and give them a great time. What a wonderful gift that is for people.
Big heart to you. Love you, Jorge. Thank you.
Love you too.
Drop the mic.
My merch stuff.
Oh, guys, make sure you check out Shut the F Up Method with Jorge Perez. He has been amazing. All right, don't forget, this is the place for the hot mess expresses and the black sheeps of love. And until next time, I'm Drea Renee, and this is Hey Babe, Can We Talk? I'll see you soon. Bye.